Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille Show. My name is Jerry Miller. It is great to be with you on a Wednesday. The rain has stopped. The sun is out. I'm feeling festive, and I have a zest for life. And I'll tell you what, today's guest also embodies those qualities. Jamie Schwartz, a founder and entrepreneur and evangelist of Charlottesville, Virginia, our guest today on the I Love CVille Show. We're live in Charlottesville, Central Virginia, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille network. We're going to welcome her to the program in T-minus 35 seconds to talk about her journey as someone who's a marketing and advertising professional and someone who's segued into entrepreneurship and small business ownership. Bob Schwartz, is that?
Oh, yes. If
that's
you know
your
me,
pops?
That's my dad.
He's like, I'm watching, I'm here, I'm ready to rock and roll. Judah, before we get to Jamie, let's thank some of the folks that make the program possible. We are an advertising agency at VMV Brands and I Love CVille. On the first and second floors of our building, the Macklin Building on Market Street in downtown Charlottesville. As of this morning, we represent 113 clients up and down the East Coast, from New Providence, New Jersey, and the Autism Foundation of New Jersey, all the way to Asheville, North Carolina. We love what we do. Two of our favorite clients, where we represent all aspects of their brand, Interstate Pest and Service Companies, and Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. We'll start with Interstate first. The business started in 1969 with the first generation, Mr. Robert Wells. He has since passed away, but ladies and gentlemen, in 1969, Mr. Wells used his personal truck, sweat equity, and payphones around Charlottesville to build a company. Today, it has 4 generations of family behind it, almost 100 team members, and a Commonwealth-wide working footprint. Truly a success story. Dr. Wagner at Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine, physical therapy, chiropractic care, and sports medicine. Dr. Wagner is changing people's lives. Andre Xavier says, Jamie Schwartz, you are amazing. I love you. Jennifer Kopp Wehen, I'm messing up your last name. She says, Jamie. If you want to interact and give her some props, put it in the comments section, just like Clarence Green, Desiree Leak, and Chris Trotter have done. Judah Wickhauer, my friend, studio camera. And let's welcome Jamie Schwartz to the show. Que pasa? How are you?
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
It's great to have you here.
Yes.
Let's start with the question we ask all our guests.
Oh boy, this is the hard one.
Personalize, localize, and humanize. Who is Jamie Schwartz?
Well, I guess I have to say, I haven't really had time to really think about this, but I guess I would say I am like a marketing person, like in my soul, for sure. Certainly marketing and advertising, art are my passions. I love to certainly build businesses and art all the time. Like I've been creative since I was a kid. I went to art school. I love just being creative and kind of, using that through advertising to get the message out there.
You have, talk about how you got to Charlottesville. Is memory correct in that you were recruited from an automotive association or dealership in Florida?
Yes.
To come to Charlottesville, Virginia. Can you give us the flip book of you?
Yes. So I was living in Florida. I come from a very tight-knit family, and my grandmother, who was living in Florida, her name is Flo. Flo told me when I moved to Florida, she said, Zelda's granddaughter made $100,000 working as a greeter at the Mercedes-Benz store. And I said, really? $100,000? I was like, I can totally say hello to people. So I marched into this Mercedes-Benz store, and I was like, you have to give me this job. You are going to love me. I'm going to say hello to everyone. I'm going to be out in Nevada. And they were like, great, you got the job. And I was like, oh my God, $100,000. So I run out of this dealership. Then I call my mom. I was like, I got the job. And she was like, how much does it pay? And I said, I never asked. So I go back to the dealership and I said, oh my God, I never asked you how much did it pay. And they said, it's $5.75 an hour. And I was like, oh my God, no. Zelda's granddaughter made $100,000. And they were like, no. But I wound up taking a position at the dealership for probably a little bit more money. Maybe it was like $6, but went to work at a dealership, just doing a bunch of stuff, like behind the scenes. I worked in sales, I worked in service, and then I got a job at an advertising agency.
Nice.
Yes, and that was like, I was like, ooh, advertising, this is fun, right? And Brown Automotive was my client at the agency.
Okay.
I like that you're moving slowly.
You know,
you're like, adjustments.
Kind of DL. Want to make sure that everything is heard.
Good. So I got a job at the advertising agency. Brown was my client at the agency, and I loved them. So I would come up every other month to kind of meet with Jay Malone and Kenny Brown and talk about the advertising plan and, you know, all the good stuff.
You know, that right there, I think anyone that's watching this program, and Charlie Ann Xavier says, hey, love you, Jamie Schwartz. You're getting props. Pam Garrison says, thank you for highlighting local businesses. Jamie Schwartz is just beautiful and absolutely creative. You got folks that are finding you absolutely hysterical right now, like Chris. Morgan Stanfield is giving you some props. Kelsey Mooney, Clarence Green. Give it a like and a share on any of the streams. I think everybody in Charlottesville and Central Virginia and much of the Commonwealth had seen you over a long period of time in these fabulous commercials.
Oh, thank you.
You were a tremendous spokesman, a great brand ambassador, and I think, as you know, with advertising and marketing, you're a pro. This is one of your many skills. When you do it consistently and at the volume that you were doing it, you become almost a household name along with the brand that you're representing.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Certainly a bigger budget back then, for sure.
Yeah.
I actually was never hired to do the commercials for Brown.
Interesting.
It kind of happened very, very randomly. So we were working with a local company called OK Yellow, who were like my dream team. So a lot of them, have gone on to start their own businesses. So Paul and Joel at Snowing in Space.
Yeah.
Andrew at the North American Sake Brewery. So at the time, all of us, before they all started their businesses, we were all working together. And we always talk about getting the team back together, and they always roll their eyes. But I'm like, get the team. But we were doing a TV shoot, and we were, out live shooting, and we had brought in someone, I forget who it was, that was supposed to be there to do the shoot, and they didn't show up. So I was like, what are we going to do? So on the fly, they were like, you're the only one here, you do it. So, I walked in front of the camera and I was like, hi, I'm Jamie from Brown. And that's how it kind of started. Like, I'd never been on television before. I had no training. And I just kind of jumped in and was like, here we go. Kenny, and I really was so thankful for Kenny, certainly Kenny Brown and Jay, for supporting me through all that stuff,
Wasn't it easy for you? Was it difficult at all? Because you have the gift of human connection. You're very likable. You're very confident. You're very outgoing. I could follow you around and say this every day if you need me to.
I would love that. Thank you.
It never, and I don't want to speak for the viewing public, but from my standpoint, it never seemed forced. Like, you see some, and we create commercials here.
Yeah.
We see some where it's like, this is contrived, or this is forced, or this is scripted, or this is like, I'm literally having behind the camera to say exactly what you have to say. And it never comes across as authentic and genuine as you did. You seem to love it.
Thanks. I did. I loved it really, like, more than anything. Like, I believed in our brand so much, and I believed, like, wholeheartedly in the product, and I literally every day, like, lived and breathed that dealership. Like, I would go back into service, and I was super involved, like, at the collision center. Like, I just loved it. I would run around, and they would just be like, bah! And, there were so many things, like, the accounting side of it that I wasn't very good at, but I was so excited all the time about it that I think they just kind of let me slide. But yeah, I loved that dealership for sure.
How about the evolution of Jamie Schwartz?
Yeah.
Marketing and advertising virtuoso.
Yeah.
Marketing director for Brown Automotive.
Yeah.
And segue into entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Small business owner, a killer brand in Pikasso Swig and
Thanks.
5th Street Station. What? Talk to us.
I know, it was crazy. So when Kenny Brown had retired and we were bought out by a bigger group, Umansky,
right?
I had moved from marketing into finance, which was not really my strong suit, but I loved it because basically what finance is, who knew? You don't really need to know much about math. You really just talk to people. So I was like, great, this is going to be awesome. But I really, as I was saying before, I believed in Brown so much, and I really believed that I was, like, connecting and getting to meet so many people in the community with our events and things, that I was really missing that. And when I started the job in finance, I was really looking for something, like just doing some soul searching and seeing, like, what is my life going to be here in the next 10 years? Am I going to stay at the dealership, or is there something that I am passionate about, that I love, that I can put that energy into? So I started to kind of, in my spare time, I hope no one from Umansky is watching because they're going to kill me, but I started to build a website. I started to build this dream of, like, what I would open up to now be Pikasso Swig, and a place where all kinds of people could come, men, women, children, all ages, would come and just connect, like, put phones down for a second and hang out and drink coffee or wine or things like that, and we'd get together and create things. And I was like, if there was a place like this would be so awesome. So I started to really build the website, and 2 years into it, I was like, I have this thing. And we started to look for a space, And it kind of really went from there very, very fast.
That's crazy.
It was wild.
So our business here, my business is 12 years old in May.
Yeah.
And I remember.
Congratulations on that. I
Thank
remember
you.
when you started. So.
I remember coming into your office on, was it on 29 or
That's
Plantops?
right, 29. Yep.
With Jeff Perkins.
Jeff Perkins from Comcast.
Okay, you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what I remember 12 years ago of starting this business. It's freaking scary.
Yes.
It's like this roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Uncertainty, exhilaration, adrenaline. Yes. I can do this one moment.
Yeah.
Next moment, you're like, holy shit.
Perfect.
What
Yes.
am I gotten myself into?
Yes.
Talk to me about yours.
Yes, and every day I think it's like that. So as you can see, like my father, Bob Schwartz. So if you come to Pikasso Swig, you know Bob Schwartz.
Where's Bob watching from?
Bob is in New York.
Okay.
He just moved to New Jersey from Brooklyn. Okay. Bob has been an instrumental part of our business. He's super involved, and like, so, there's a lot of people that come to Pikasso Swig all the time. I'm super thankful. My girlfriend Kelly, like all these people that
Kelly Postle Jackson.
Kelly, yes.
She's watching right now. She says it's our favorite place to go. My kids love Jamie and Pikasso Swig.
So her kids are like some of my favorites. And so when I come home from work, I always tell my dad, like, oh, Kelly's kids came, and, they're into all these things. Like, they're into volleyball, and Lena just made, captain of the volleyball team. So my father sends these, we have a huge line of ceramics that kids get to come in and paint. And my father sends these ceramics down from New York, and they're all labeled. Like, so there's a big package of volleyball, and they like Lena. So it's labeled for Kelly's kids. And he's like, he sends like all my friends' kids presents, and he's just so involved with all this stuff. It's amazing. And I think that, like, as my father gets older and as I get older, like, it's so special to, like, have this business that we're both so involved in. And it's really just been a joy, like, truthfully, but terrifying. Every day it's like, I hope people like it. Are they going to be as excited as me? Yay, make a cutting board. Like, I hope that people are as excited, and I try to get that out to them. But scary. Retail, obviously, you see all your posts, like, this place is going out of business, and I'm like, yeah, we'll just throw out more glitter. People will love us. That's kind of what we're going for.
This is a perfect segue into me giving you props as a visionary and staying ahead of the market. So I have done a lot on I Love CVille about analyzing the market and talking about brick and mortar retail.
Yeah.
The thing about your business, however, is it's experiential.
Yes, exactly.
It's not
Right.
a SKU
Yes.
that
Right.
you have to go and purchase
Right.
that you can get at 20% less on Amazon
Yep.
and then have it delivered to your doorstep.
Right.
What you are offering
Yes.
is an experience.
Yes.
It's freaking brilliant.
Thanks. And that's, I think, what it's all about. Like, as people, like, you can get a pair of jeans, and, like, sometimes we'll go to Costco, like, we're on a strawberry run, and I'm like, ooh, a new sweatshirt. Like, it's so, and you're right. Like, we're trying to create an experience. And I thought about, a lot about when I was opening the business, like, is there a franchise? Maybe do we get a franchise? Like, how much is a franchise? I mean, I don't know anything about franchising, but, looking up, like, do we open up a franchise? And then I thought, if we have a franchise, we're so locked in to what that franchise is doing.
Which is the opposite of you.
I can't, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, if someone was like, you can only paint or you can only do this, I would be bored in 1 second.
Exactly.
So if you ever come to our store, you'll see, like, every time you come in, the goal is that things change. So the ceiling will be different, or the bathrooms will be different. Like, I want it to be ever changing. And if people decide that, maybe they don't like to paint, or maybe they don't want to do this, like, we can revamp the whole business model and kind of do what we want, which I love.
You're getting props from a lot of people.
Thanks,
I'm going to take a moment and relay a few of the props.
Okay.
Okay, because there's so many. So Ray Padrell used to work with you.
Yes.
Ray Padrell, you recently shaved your beard. You're looking quite dapper, my friend.
He does.
He says, Jamie is great. This is an amazing business and idea, a great place, and a perfect person to be running it.
Oh, he's wonderful. He is one of our, I watched also Ray grow because I'd worked with
He
those guys
evolved
for
under you.
Amazing.
Right?
Ray's great. He is like the general manager at the Subaru store for Umansky. A really wonderful guy who started out, as a lot porter, worked his way through sales, and is just like an amazing. It was really great to see those guys grow.
Chris Trotter says this is wonderful. Quentin Johnson says, Jamie, she's my favorite person in the whole world, an awesome person. Tiffany Rosales, Jamie is the best person ever. Charlie says, London loved the glitter. Ray Cadell, the fabulous real estate agent and broker and a musician, just shared the feed. Folks all over Charlottesville, Albemarle County, D.C., Nashville, Charlotte, New York, Long Island, and New Jersey watching the program.
It's all Bob.
Christy Hudson, keep paving your own road, Jamie. You're a female entrepreneur we look up to. All right, let's throw this to you.
So weird to hear female the word entrepreneur.
There you go.
Is so
Talk to me
weird
about
to
that.
me. Like I can't even I feel like it comes with so much pressure. Like it's like you're an entrepreneur. Like I'm supposed to be doing these things. And I feel like so much of it is you don't even know what to do. You open the door to a store every day and you're like, I don't know, and people are profit and loss statements and you got to know all these things. And, it's sometimes you just don't know, right? You kind of fumble through it and see what works and what doesn't. And, we're really, really, we're a little baby brand right now. We haven't even really started doing a ton of marketing and stuff. We're a lot of word of mouth. And I think a lot of it will evolve over time. But I think entrepreneur sounds so scary because it's Mark Cuban's an entrepreneur. What? But I think it's going to be an interesting ride for sure to see the evolution of it, and also to see, coming from Brown with such a big marketing budget and all those things to a small local business, and trying to kind of get the word out with a small amount of money has been very different.
Well, let's talk about that. You've done a hell of a job.
Oh, thanks.
Like a badass job. Okay, and you can tell that there are no rules here, and we can say whatever we want, which I feel like the New Yorker would appreciate that.
Yes, no, yeah. That's what we say in my store. I'm all the kids, there's no rules. It's just tons of glitter. And you see all the parents that are oh, God, please. And I'm don't listen to your parents. And then, there's cookies and ice cream, and parents are oh, God.
Talk to us about the approach of Fifth Street Station.
Ah, yes. I was a little nervous when I was looking for a store for sure, because I think when people think of Fifth Street Station, they think of giant brands. You have AC Moore, you have Wegmans. It's not such a local feel. They were amazing in the startup of our store. Super, super instrumental about working with us as far as coming up with a good rent, a good budget for us. Because, when I went in, I said, listen, I don't have $1 million. I'm not a franchise.
Yeah.
You have all these other kind of franchises in here, but we are trying to bring a local vibe to Fifth Street. They were super great about it. The owners flew up, met with us, made sure that we were kind of comfortable in our rent. The build out was phenomenal. I have nothing but great things to say. And I think, in my lease it says we can't decorate outside, but,
You did!
We do! And I don't think we're allowed to kind of use so much glitter outside, but we do. And I figure, what? I'm in a 5-year lease. What are they going to do? Kick me out? So, the more glitter, the merrier.
What was going through your mind on grand opening day? Give us everything, the perspective of grand opening day.
I think, at that time I was working by myself. I had no employees because I was we have no money. We can't hire anyone. So we opened the doors and people would walk in and they would say, oh, is this one of those wine places? And I would, be come in, it's so much more. There are things that you can do. We can make cutting boards and we have glitter and we have all these things. So I think just getting people in was hard, but I was nervous. It's we have this store. I hope that it's great. I've never run a store before. So terrifying. It's gotten a little bit better when I started seeing people come in. That was really great. I don't remember who our first customer was, but I'm pretty sure that when they came in, we try to hug everyone that comes in and out. So we always hug everyone. We hug all the kids. I'm probably a little bit much for people to come in.
No.
Imagine every day. Yay! I get so excited that people are there. You know what I mean? I'm so genuinely excited.
What was the manifestation or the birth of the idea? I mean, you're obviously a creative person. You use that side of the brain extremely, extremely well. You're a businesswoman, whether you want to embrace that moniker or not, you are.
Yes.
Okay. Did you say the market has a vacancy or a hole here, I can fill this niche?
So when I started working in finance and because I was working such a corporate job, I mean, it couldn't get more corporate, right?
Sure.
I'm working for a corporation, this is my thing, and I'm reporting, and I never saw my friends. I would, Charlie, Jane, Lauren, all of my really good friends that I had been in Charlottesville for so long, I never got to see anyone.
Because you were grinding?
Working all the time. I mean, I was working 9 in the morning till 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Never saw anyone. So my friends are having babies, and I'm missing everything. And I was you know what? I was if I have this place where we can get together, I was I'll step out of this corporate place, I'll work for myself and be able to have more time with all these people that I love. And since we have opened the store, I've seen like everyone coming in and now seeing them with their kids and their kids having birthday parties like at Pikasso Swig is the best thing ever. My girlfriend Kelly, her daughter, like we had her 9th birthday and I was like, oh my God, I was like, I remember when you were born. Like it's really been amazing.
Stephanie Wells Rhodes, our friend.
Who I love.
Watching the program. Stephanie, we love you here.
Yes.
Christy Hager says this.
Oh.
And then I'm going to ask you, how does this make you feel?
Okay.
Christy says, we loved our experience there for my daughter's 10th birthday. Everyone needs to check out Pikasso Swig and see all of the amazing things you can do there. Jamie's energy is so great, and she's so much fun to be around.
Aww.
How does this stuff make you feel?
It makes me feel amazing. Like it almost like, makes me want to cry sometimes when like kids will make something and they'll bring it over to me because, as we hire more people, I try to kind of float around and do more the business side of it. And I always like wonder, like when we hired a couple of girls, I'm always like, make sure you have a ton of energy and you're congratulating everyone and every kid is getting a hug. And I'm so like, but so the kids will come over when they finish their projects, they run over and they show me. And to see like these kids create stuff and like come over and they're so proud of what they do, like just like means everything to me. Like it was like if we never made $1 in profit, like, if we never, and like this is what we did, like to see these like amazing things happen is like everything to me.
Stephanie says, hey, Jamie. She's watching. So throw this to you here. Did you find any aspect of being this entrepreneur and running this business more difficult than others? And the reason I'm asking this question, I throw it a lot to the founders and entrepreneurs on the show. You have shows like Shark Tank.
Yes.
And The Profit.
Yes. Ooh, I binge watch literally every night.
Same.
Yes.
Same.
Yep.
So they're like romanticizing or like making this entrepreneurial lifestyle that of like rock stars.
Yes.
Which is like, I don't know about you, I was like effing cleaning the toilets last week in this building.
Yes.
Okay, it is the opposite of
Total
this
opposite.
like rock star life.
Yes.
Throw that whole topic to you.
Yeah, and and so if you watch those shows, you realize a co-packer. Like you always hear like a co-packer. I'm like, who can afford to hire a co-packer? Like you're right. Like you take no profit, right? Because you put everything back into the business.
Right.
You are cleaning toilets. You are cleaning the kitchen. So for our store, we have a different element too, which I was not familiar with, is the restaurant side of the business.
Okay.
So at our store, we are a craft store. Like we're a creative bar, but we also have a restaurant and we serve beer, wine, and cider.
Okay.
So that is a part of the business. I've never been a bartender that I really had to learn. But I think, in the first year, especially like a year or two, like you definitely have to come into the business knowing that you're not doing it for a profit. Like you're not going to be this entrepreneur that's going to make, I'm sure it's very slim to none who's going to make $100,000, or if you're leaving a job making $100,000, you're not opening up your own business to become rich. Like that's just not what it is. But I think that if you believe in it, and like that's what I was thinking about on the way here, like even if I broke even, like God forbid, you hope that you make money over time, but if I broke even and was able to kind of like to meet new people and have people enjoy this space for the next 10 years, like would that be worth it to me? And I absolutely would. Like it absolutely would. I didn't start it because I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm going to franchise this. Like I literally just opened the store because I want to be able to hang out with friends, to meet people, to have a space in the community where people can go and feel supported and loved and put down their phones for a second and just be in the moment and create something that they're proud of. And that's literally all I wanted from the space.
Jessica Russo, welcome to the program. We'll thank some of the folks watching like Lauren Elaine Thompson, Amanda Terplowski, Everett Anderson, Glenn Harrop, Elizabeth Appleby, Richard Ridge, Noel Jurgensen, Stacy Brookman, Stacy McDaniel, Maggie Slickman, Mark Lickman, Brandon Lloyd, just to name a few.
Whoa.
Live on 12 Facebook pages. Put your comments in the comments section of any of the Facebook pages, and I will relay that perspective to Jamie. This question comes in, and it was on my list as well.
Okay.
Tell us the meaning of Pikasso Swig.
How the name started?
Yeah.
I always wanted there to be a kind of a food and a bar element because there's, other places I think that where you go in and I used to go to them all the time, and all over the country. Like I visited, like we did a lot of research and there's places that you go in and kind of do art and you bring your own wine or you bring your own food. And I always like the idea of like when people are comfortable in a space, like everything's there for you. So I was like, what is there going to be a name? It's art and kind of eating and drinking. And I was like, oh, Picasso is a guy that I really like. I went to art school, like I've studied, and I was like, this will be really cool. K is just, I felt like a little bit more exciting, right?
Yeah.
And Swig, so you're doing art and you're drinking and eating, so Pikasso Swig. I bought that domain about 3 years ago.
Get out.
I did.
I love that.
I was sitting on my porch and I was having a glass of wine and I was like, and I was on GoDaddy and I was like, Pikasso Swig, that's
You're using
available.
their search engine.
Yes, and I was like, $12.99 for the year, and I bought it, and I was like, pretty much a business person. I got the domain. So I bought the domain, and then I started. And I always had Pikasso Swig. Like, people were like, maybe you should call it blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, Pikasso Swig. Like, once I'm on something, like, that's it. So I knew right away. It sounded good to me. And I was super fortunate. So we were talking about the guys at OK Yellow. So Joel from OK Yellow designed my logo for me.
Nice. I love it.
Yes. And that was super special to me because of my relationship with them so many years ago. I really wanted them to be involved. So Joel designed that logo for me, and I've loved it since day one. So
when you were picking, give us the strategy. So a lot of entrepreneurs watching, aspiring or current.
Okay.
When you're picking the space.
Yes.
When you're going through negotiating the lease.
Yes.
Give us like
the worst part of the whole thing.
Be the Monday morning quarterback. Give us the playbook, the X's and O's, advice, strategy, all that.
Yes. I think you really have to think about, there's a lot of places, I think, in our town and in places all over the country where you want to be. The downtown mall is a sought-after place.
Did you want to be there?
I thought about being on the downtown mall.
Okay.
And then I thought, like, pretty quickly, I was like, but if we're doing birthday parties and, I'm a new mom or something like that, like, would I want to be in a garage, like, parking and trying to get my kids' stuff to this birthday party? I was like, we really need something convenient. So for a lot of the places like us, we were looking for convenience, a lot of parking, a place that was safe, and especially because, we work late at night, and I knew that we needed a place that was well lit, that we weren't going to have to kind of. So, but we looked at a lot of spaces. We looked at, the first space that we looked at, funny enough, was, remember where, right by Champion, the old, it was not like a deli, it was that restaurant. By Juice Laundry.
Over here
Yes.
by downtown Barbie's Burrito Bar?
No. Right next to like the Juice Laundry, by the bike shop, by is that Champion?
Champion over there.
Champion.
Okay. Fox's, where Spud Nuts used to be.
Yes.
The Pie Chest.
Yes.
Okay.
And that didn't work out so well.
Okay.
And then we looked on Preston. And there was like an old space there, but didn't have enough parking. But I have to tell you, negotiating the lease was probably the worst part.
Okay, how does that work?
So in my mind, like you've rented, I'm sure all of you have rented an apartment before or done something. So, they give you a lease and you say, okay, I'm going to be here from this day to this day. We're going to clean up our mess. We're going to paint the walls back white. If we have a dog and they happen to pee on your carpet, we're going to replace that. It's $50. Great, cool. So I said, all right, I'm ready to sign. We're doing the thing. And they send me over a lease, and it is 150 pages. Jeebus. It is in a box so big that first of all, like me being like a creative person, I was like, there's no way I'm reading this. There's like just not gonna happen. So we had to hire a lawyer. We had to, because there is no way. And they found like these little, there's just so many things in these like bigger contracts. And especially I think because we were in a bigger shopping center versus like, renting from like a corn cap shop,
sure.
like a local guy.
Right.
But so we had to get a lawyer to help with that. Because there's so many nuances, like.
Which is an expense.
Right. It is an expense, but so worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you so for example, I remember there was a clause that said something about like the parking lights. So if everyone's open past a certain time, like 11 or 12 o'clock, and the lights have to stay on, everyone shares in the expense. Something like very odd. And so in the lease, I was like, no, I don't have money to pay for, all these lights. So the lawyer found a lot of that stuff, but definitely well worth the money.
I love it.
Well worth it.
I love it. How about store build out and signage?
Store build out was probably my favorite part.
Yeah.
I love that part, because we're creating a space that
Sure.
we're basically living
Your dream.
in. It was the most amazing thing. The landlord was amazing. So, they gave us a little bit of a tenant improvement allowance. So when you're working on a lease, and it's a newer space, kind of like when you're building a home, they'll negotiate and say, okay, we'll give you a little bit of money to put into your space, like relative. They're not going to put in chandeliers, but they'll say, okay, we're going to put down your floor, we're going to paint it whatever color you want. The landlord was great to us, and we have. a man that was working with us to build out the place. His name was Mark, and him and his sons own a construction bit. They're based actually out of Richmond, and they have become our family. And they built out our whole space from top to bottom. They are infamous for hanging roses and hanging things from our ceiling, and we call him for everything, and he comes for coffee. Build out was amazing.
You picked a brilliant spot, and why I think you picked a brilliant spot. First off, I live in Redfields, so it's right around the corner from there. You are in a side of town that is booming. You have obscene foot traffic in that shopping center thanks to Wegmans.
Yes.
You are right off the interstate.
Yes.
There's an abundance of parking.
Yes.
Avon Extended and Fifth Street Extended are like the Tony popular hotspots now that still are getting more and more density. It's tons of family in that area.
Yes.
So I think your vision, not only creating a business that is experiential versus selling a SKU on a shelf.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Thanks.
Picking a spot like this because of everything I listed. Brilliant.
Thanks.
Okay. And I really think you're primed for success. So I'm going to throw this to you. What needs to happen for you to reach the goals and benchmarks that you want for your business? What do you want to see from Pikasso Swig?
I certainly would like to see more people coming in. We specialize in, our niche is a little bit different. So not only, we see a lot of people that are, our age that have kids, their first kid, second kid, that are coming in on Friday and Saturday nights, like 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and bringing their kids for dinner and doing crafts, which I love. We always say like we're a kid-friendly bar. It's really is kind of like a safe space for everyone. But, I'd love to see more people coming in. I'd love to see more birthday parties. We are starting to branch out to bridal showers, bachelorette parties. We actually got a chance to host Sasha Farmer's bachelorette party.
Nice. Congratulations, Sasha and Kelly.
That's right. Which was so crazy fun. So we'd like to do, more bigger parties, more like adult kind of stuff. So we're going to probably try to move into that a little bit, but our birthday parties are crazy, like customizable. You have to have your son's birthday party at the store.
Okay. March 20th.
So for our birthday parties, what we do is we have the kids pick everything.
Okay.
So proposals are sent to the kids. So we don't let parents tell us kind of anything. So the kids get to pick a theme.
Okay.
They get to pick whatever they want to do for dessert. So they want to do an ice cream bar, a donut bar, cotton candy rainbow. We transform the whole space. The whole front of our window becomes whatever the child's name is on their birthday. We customize capes. We customize tutus. We customize literally everything. So, and we also close down our store. So there's a lot of places, that have a party room. Our store, is not that big. So we close down our store. The kids get the whole space. Parents stay in the front, and we tell the kids in the back, there's no rules at Pikasso Swig. You can use glitter. You're not going to get in trouble. We can, there's paint. It's okay.
This is essentially what you are. You are a dream creator.
Yes.
A party coordinator.
There you go. Yeah.
You're a community ambassador. You're a liaison of fun.
I love it.
That's pretty much, that's such a sweet job. Come into my space, speaking you.
Yes.
And do whatever you want here.
Yes.
And have a good time.
Yes. And then Ryan will come in and bring cupcakes and free cookies. So we hand out a lot of cupcakes and cookies and candy. So we do, we hope that everyone has fun. And then adults, we have different types of mimosas, and people come in, and I love it. My girlfriend came in the other day, and she said, I went on a really bad date. She goes, I just need to sit and do a cutting board and drink wine and don't talk to me. I was like,
done.
This is my dream. This is great. I love, if you're having a bad day, you can come to Pikasso Swig and hang out and drink wine and do art. This is literally my dream. It's great.
Let's relay some perspective.
Okay.
Sarah Martin Snow.
Yes.
Brandon and I are so happy for you, Jamie. Heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji. Tasha Lamb. Go, Jamie. Love and miss your enthusiasm. William Earl. He says it makes a great date night option. We had a great time. Keep up the awesome work. Help me with this name. Tisha LaShawn Curry-Stinney.
Yes.
I'm so happy for you, Jamie Schwartz. You have a great place. It makes you happy when you're sad.
Letitia.
Once you walk in, it's a happy place. Thank you for being Pikasso Swig.
Letitia is a great example of someone who we didn't know until we opened up the store. And Letitia came in one day, very, very randomly. She's a nanny for a little girl named Izzy, who I
She says, Izzy and I love you.
who I adore. Letitia and I were friends from the minute she walked in the store. She has been also such an instrumental part, like her coming in like every day, like she comes in and she gives me a hug and she's like, I'm just stopping by to tell you how proud I am of you. I love you. Like we have met so many people that do that just run in and they're like, we love you, we're coming back, but you know what I mean? Like that is like everything. Like people that didn't even know me before we started this store that come in and say like, you're doing such a great job is just incredible to me.
You're getting props from a friend of ours. And his name is Cameron Childress.
Yes.
One of the best beards in the business.
Yes.
Cameron Childress says this. You make the best easy bake cookies.
That's right.
You're an incredibly great person.
Oh,
and he wishes you nothing but the best of luck and success.
Oh.
Charlie is so pumped to host London's birthday
Oh.
At Pikasso Swig.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to throw this question to you.
Okay.
We as entrepreneurs
Yes.
have big dreams.
Yes.
Big visions. I can totally see, and I have an idea of your answer.
Oh, boy.
You're going to be like, don't put the cart before the horse.
Oh, boy.
Okay. I can totally see this brand scaling. I can totally see this brand being, okay, let's just talk in our local market.
Yeah.
I can totally see this brand having a presence in Hollymead, Forest Lakes.
Yes.
I can totally see this brand potentially having a presence in although it's close to the 5th Street station, the booming Zion's Crossroads area,
Yes.
maybe the Pantops area. What is the plan? I know you have one. Don't downplay this. What is the plan to scale? You know you've thought about this.
I think about it for a second and then don't think about it anymore.
I have a feeling you're going to say this, but the Jamie I know has got big dreams.
I would like to, truthfully, grow the brands. I have this idea for a line of children's books that I've been working on.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yes. I have 3 children's books written. The premise is my dogs, Chloe and Bronx. Charlie, we've actually read them to London, and he gave us the thumbs up, so that was good. But Chloe and Bronx, they travel all over the world. It's a historical book, and I'd love to do books with a craft that's attached to it. So all of our books are going to be, like one of them, the dogs travel to Pisa, so they're learning about Italy, and there's a recipe, and you can make your own spaghetti.
So vertically integrating your model.
Yes.
So on top of the experiential retail, you then have a book that can be a brand ambassador as they leave the brick and mortar storefront.
That's right. So Pikasso, in a perfect world, if we had Pikasso Industries or, whatever it was, we'd have Pikasso Reads, which are a line of children's books. Maybe Pikasso,
I think that's a great idea.
Pikasso Creates, maybe a line of kind of like actual packages where people, imagine like you could go to a store and buy your own lemonade stand. It's a DIY entrepreneurial lemonade stand. So you buy it for your kids, they set up their little booth.
That's a good idea.
So having, some other things. But, we're totally focused on the store right now.
Totally get it. Totally get it. Virginia Josephine.
Yes.
Jamie has created jobs for artists to share what they love. I am so happy that she found me. It's such a joy to work for you, Jamie Schwartz. Talk to us about that comment.
So Virginia, who I'm sure everyone knows who comes to the store, I walked into AC Moore one day. They're right next door.
R.I.P. AC Moore.
Yes. Which is now a very weird, as they move into this going out of business thing, has become basically like there's like an aisle of socks, which is very weird.
What do you mean?
So when a place goes into, when they're going out of business, like the wholesale company or whatever that owns them just sends them random things.
Interesting.
So instead of going into like an art store that's going out of business, they ship them all this inventory of random things. So it's a row of baking sheets and a row of socks and a row of sweatshirts. It's like a very odd, which is so sad. And, we know those people really well because we go in there every day. And it was really, really sad to see, them closing.
Anything close.
Yeah, I don't love that. But so for Christmas time, we, Carrie and I, so backstory, so we were talking about Jeff Perkins. Jeff Perkins and I were very good friends for a long time. His sister is an amazing artist. Her name is Carrie. Amazing, amazing artist. So when I opened up the store, I was like, I'd really love to hire someone for face painting. So I called Jeff and I said, hey, do you think maybe your sister, because she was living at Virginia Beach, do you think your sister would maybe want to come in and help me like one day, like just to do face painting? I know she's super busy. She was working at a huge grocery store chain in Tidewater, and she hand does all the chalkboards. So Jeff goes, it's so funny that you called me. Carrie actually moved back to Charlottesville, and she's looking for a part-time job. I was like, oh, what?
She's hired.
Oh my God. I was like, how do I, oh my God. And I was like, I don't have any money, but I'm willing to like offer her like free coffee. Like she has to come in. So Carrie and I meet, so Jeff's sister and I, We meet for we're talking for 10 minutes, and she looks at me and she goes, "Do you want a glitter tattoo?" And I was like, "You're hired. Absolutely, I want a glitter tattoo." So Carrie was the first person I've ever hired in history. She still works with us. Her husband has been in the hospital, so she's been out for a little while. But Carrie, integral part of the team. Carrie and I go over to AC Moore, and it's Christmas time. And on the shelf, there is this Christmas tree. And it looks like a unicorn. It's totally over the top. I mean, it has this fur and things hanging down, this crazy unicorn tree, and it's sitting on the shelf. And I look at Carrie, and I pointed it, and she's like, "Obviously." And we were like, "Obviously." We buy this Christmas tree. And I said to the manager, I go, "Who created this amazing work of art? I need 12 of them." And he was like, "Oh, we hired a new floral girl. Maybe she'll make you another one." I was like, "Oh, my God." So we walk over, and there's Virginia. And, Virginia, if you meet her, is very quiet. She's like the total opposite of me. Until you get to know her, then she's really wild. But anyway, very, very quiet. So I was like, "Virginia, oh my God, you're this art goddess. You made this tree. I need so many more." And she was just kind of like, "Okay." She made us another tree. We gifted a couple to Basil. We did all this stuff. And then when AC Moore said that they were closing, I was like, "Virginia!" And we hired Virginia from AC Moore. Virginia's worked with us ever since. She is amazing. Textiles, she's great. She's a great artist. She creates she's just, you got to meet her. She's amazing. So Virginia and Carrie.
Another comment coming in.
Okay.
This from Mindy Hobart Colden. Am I saying that right? Mm-hmm. Mindy says this: "Jamie is the absolute best. Oh, Kennedy loves the projects we have bought in the store and have taken home. I'm so excited to see Jamie's dream for many, many years come to fruition. Aww. Wish you nothing but the best."
Aww,
throw this to you here. I love to spotlight positivity here, and I love to spotlight positivity through the eyes of other people that embody positivity. You.
Thanks.
Your role, or our roles, are small part as evangelists or ambassadors of Charlottesville, as small business owners, as people that live and breathe and would do anything to keep this community heading in the right direction.
Yes.
If you think about that stuff there,
yeah.
We have a small role.
Totally.
I'm not going to overstate what we do, but a
yes.
small role to help Charlottesville heal. I think
yes.
that's a safe phrase.
Totally.
That topic to you.
Yeah. I think that as any local business, you always are doing things for the better of our community. What can we offer, right? So we think a lot about, the goal is, as I said, to share art, to share positivity, like you said, to spread love, to share excitement, and what does that mean? So I struggle a lot with it. Is it affordable to everyone? Does everyone have access to the same things? If someone comes in and says, can we do a free craft? We never are going to turn anyone away. I want everyone to be able to share in our experiences here in the community. I want it to be a resource. If someone reaches out and wants to learn art, I'm always kind of cognizant of that. And especially in our growth, offering things for the community to support us, and always to make Charlottesville better. Because I do believe, I've lived here for a long time.
You love Charlottesville.
I love it. And, I want our business to be an integral part of the community, and a staple for a long, long time.
Nice answer. Tom Bowe, the fabulous founder and entrepreneur behind Take It Away Sandwich Shop, watching the program as we speak.
Do you like some Take It Away?
I love the house sauce. I would bathe in the house sauce, Tom Bowe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to throw this to you. You filled 50 minutes. It's been an absolute breeze. So Pikasso Swig, this fabulous business that you have, working with so many, creating jobs, creating experiences, creating memories. Memories
yes.
are priceless.
Yes.
Charlottesville in totality, where do we need to go? I ask everybody that question. Just the community. What are we, almost 3 years removed from August 12th, 2017?
I still am in denial about that even is a thing. And it's funny, so Clarence Green, who's been on the show, I was watching his TED Talk yesterday. Clarence was also someone that did a lot of work for us at Brown, who I know really well, him and his wife Teresa. And I was watching his TED Talk yesterday and seeing him speak about, the things that he's been doing in the community. So if you haven't watched that, you should. And how that day kind of affected our community really kind of hit me. And I was like, how do we, I think the best way to combat that is to just spread more love. is to spread more happiness and spread enthusiasm where you can. We're all not going to agree, like, on politics, on things, but I think that everyone, no matter what side of whatever side you're on, you always want the betterment of people, right? It's people to be healthy, safe, and happy, and that's what we want to create here in Charlottesville. So I think as long as we just promote positivity and promote goodness within everyone, I think that we are. Charlottesville is an amazing place. It's very, very unique, and I think that we will hopefully keep pushing that day farther and farther behind us so it's not repeated for sure.
Fabulous answer.
Thanks.
Crushed it. You made one of the easiest interviews we have ever done.
Thanks. I hope no one was bored.
Nope.
Okay, good.
Can anybody be bored in your presence? Come on. Let's be honest here.
Thanks.
All right.
We started out with Flo. We should end with Flo.
Your opportunity. I really loved your impression of Flo.
And
is that your grandma?
Granddaughter, yeah, she never made $100,000. She was in a totally different industry, and Grandma messed it up just like her recipes. She tells us it's sugar and it's really salt, Grandma.
Tell everybody that accent. Where's that accent from right there?
So she is a Jewish New Yorker from Brooklyn. So we tried to convince one of the local radio stations to do bagels with Flo. Wouldn't that be a good morning
show? That would be great.
Bagels with Flo.
And did it come to fruition?
No, it didn't. Yeah, Brad Savage never wanted to do it. But Bagels with Flo. She's telling you about the news, all in Charlottesville. Bagels with Flo.
Justin Goodman, one of the very nicest people in CVille. Best wishes for success on your entrepreneurial journey. Take a moment. Tell everybody again about Pikasso Swig, how they can get touched by the brand, follow the brand, interact with the brand.
Yes, come visit us. So our website is PicassoSwig.com. It's with a K. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or come by the shop. Just pop your head in and kind of see what's happening in the 5th Street Station. We have lots of good music. So we always try to do a really cool playlist. So cool playlist, fun, kid-friendly space. So just come in. Come say hi.
What's on that playlist?
Oh my God, all kinds of stuff. So we mix between like James Taylor, Avicii.
Okay.
Then we do a little Rufus Du Sol, which is like, so a little vibe, depending on the day.
I love it.
And I do a lot of dancing.
Do a lot of dancing in the store?
A ton of dancing. Oh my God.
Do you call it a store?
I call it a store. Yeah, we do.
Okay.
We had a little birthday party the other day for a little girl named Kate, and she looked at me because she comes all the time. She looks and she goes, "Dance party?" And I was like, "Obviously." So we erupt into spontaneous dance parties all the time. Yeah.
I think it's like an escape.
Yeah, it's a dance party all the time.
You crushed it.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. Seriously, it was fun.
Thanks.
It was fun. Guys, anybody watching the program that wants to watch the show in totality, we will archive it in its full version on ilovecville.com. Judah Wickhauer, our director, will take today's show and he's going to put it on podcast, Apple Podcasts, and on iTunes. For 2 weeks following today's show, we'll syndicate it across the I Love CVille network, which is 17 Facebook pages, 17 Twitter accounts, the 3rd largest Instagram in the community, an e-newsletter that goes out to 125,000 inboxes every morning at 11 a.m., and of course on ilovecville.com and the podcast. We close with the same message every single show. We ask everybody that's watching this program to please, 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 please embody the golden rule. Treat the people that you come across in your life how you want to be treated yourself. It's a very straightforward concept on paper, but it's a concept that Charlottesville needs, the country needs, and we know the world needs. It's the golden rule. My name is Jerry Miller. This is the I Love CVille Show. We love connecting with you through this platform. Enjoy your afternoon. Take care.
Thanks, buddy. We really did it. I hope it wasn't boring.
You were so good.
Are you sure?
Jamie, you know how
I feel like I kind of blacked out halfway through.
You crushed it. Crushed it.